Hey folks, thanks for joining me today. So in today's tutorial, we're going to use one of my Mad River rocks, and I'm going to show you step by step on what I do from prep to finish. So this is a rock that I picked up the last time that I went to visit my family, and I had a custom order come in for a frog. So I looked through all of my rocks that I had and I thought this one would be perfect. So what I didn't show you is the washing that I do on these rocks. So I just use a little bit of like liquid soap detergent, stuff that you would use to wash your dishes with. And I use a wire brush just to scrub into all those little nooks and crannies. And then I use, if there's anything left over that I couldn't get with the wire brush, I just use a scraper, kind of something that you would use for drywall. Then once it's dry and it's sat for a little while, I paint black like you watched me just do, and I try to follow the shape of the rock, just because I think it's like makes it look like it's a window looking through the rock into a beautiful scenery. Then what I do is I go around the entire rock with some painter's tape. So it's low tack, and it's the best stuff. You can get it in green. I think there's some in blue. This is just white stuff that I had that I like to use. And then I paint. So what I'm doing is to make sure that the paint doesn't get underneath the masking tape is before I started to paint, you would have saw me sort of run my finger around the edge of it. And that's just to make sure that it's got a good bond to the rock. And then what I do when I paint, I try to paint over the seal. But so I don't paint into the seal, I paint over the seal. So what I mean by that is, so you'll see that I've been doing this the whole time that I've been talking, is I take my paintbrush, load it up with paint, and then I just go on top of the masking tape onto the rock. So masking tape first and then onto the rock. And that alleviates any seepage or anything that gets underneath. However, what I do at the very end, if there is any traces of paint that gets underneath the masking tape, I do outline the whole thing in black, just to give that sharpness of it, and that will fix anything that maybe had gotten underneath there that you didn't want there. So that's what I do. And so I do that for every single Mad River rock that I use. It's quite the process, and I don't resin them first, but I have given them, if they're like really porous or really like they've got a lot of holes in them, I will use some, what do you call it? Some varnish. Sorry, I had a little bit of a fog there. Yes, I will use some varnish just to seal those little spots in the rock, and then it makes painting a little bit easier. So I painted on the water. The color that I used for that was ocean blue, and then I've just added some white into it and not completely blending it because I want it to look like water. So just doing it from side to side. And then the green in behind, I used light green and holly green, and I believe I used some Kelly green too, or maybe I used Kelly green a little bit later for the frog. But so I do that, but I do it in an up and down motion because I want that to give the perception of grass. So grass grows in the opposite direction that the water flows, right? So that's why I did that. And now I'm just sketching on the frog and some big leaves in the background. And now I'm just going to get started on it. So this little guy is sitting on a lily pad. So I'm starting off with, this is Light Green by Craft Smart. If you're interested in any of the colors and the brand names that I use, they are listed in the description below. So make sure you check out that section. There's lots of other good stuff down there as well that I've put for you. There's a link to a few of my other videos that are like how to make a fine lining brush, how to resin, how to make your own natural stones. Or sorry, they're not natural, they're art stones. um, so all sorts of good stuff down there. And then I've also put in a link to all of the tools that I've purchased. If you wish to purchase them yourself, that's there as well. But for today, I'm not using a natural stone. Sorry, I keep saying that. It's because I'm staring at a natural stone. No, I'm not using a molded stone. I'm not using any of my stuff that I use for that. No molds, no anything like that. It's all natural. And this video actually, believe it or not, I got it down to, I think it's 21 minutes. But originally it was an hour and a half. So can you just imagine if you guys sat around for an hour and a half and watched me paint? I don't know if I could talk that long, to be honest with you, but yes, so that's why the video is a little bit longer. It's because it was originally an hour and a half. So I had to squeeze an hour and a half worth of painting into 20 minutes or 21, whatever it turned out to be. So I'm happy that you're here, and I really hope that you watch the whole thing. It's a lot of blending and outlining, and it's just those little tiny details that you do that really makes this frog look so cute. And that's why I wanted to do it. And the customer that ordered this rock has already received it, and she loves it. So that means a happy customer, maybe a repeat customer. She also asked me to do a dragonfly, so I did a very large dragonfly for her as well. I did not videotape that, but if you are interested in how I do my dragonflies, let me know in the comments below, and I'll definitely get a tutorial done for you. Dragonflies and butterflies are one of my top sellers when I do my shows, my art shows, things like that. So they don't stay in my inventory very long. So I'm always making butterflies and dragonflies. So let me know if you want to see how I do my dragonflies and my butterflies. So there I did some blending there on the frog. So I used that Kelly green, and then I put in a little bit of that light green and blended it while the paint was still wet. So it gave it a little bit of it's almost like a green or a blue green in a way, but that will change as the video continues. Now I'm just working on a little bit of the background. I'm just putting a little bit of paint on my brush, and I'm quickly flicking it up. So I'm starting at the edge of the water where it meets the land, and I'm just flicking my brush up so that it starts off a little bit fat at the bottom and ends up at a very sharp point at the top. Now this is just for the background, so I'm not really too concerned about how perfect they are, but it gives that the look of grass, like where the water meets the land's edge. And now I'm putting in some of the bigger ones. So this is the holly green that I was talking about. It's a little bit darker than the Kelly green. Both are made by DecoArt. And I'm just putting the dark color in first, and then I'm coming in with a little bit of burnt ember. I don't use a lot of this color in this particular video, but I really like how it blends with the green and gives it it's just a darker green with a little bit of brown in it. So more earthy tones, things like that. Then I come in with a little bit of that light green that I used on the lily pad, and I start at the top and I bring it down to the bottom. Now, again, I'm not looking for perfection or a complete blended kind of look, because you know, when the sun's shining through the trees, there's shadows, and the light source from the sun gets through in certain areas. So I'm not looking for perfection on this, as in blending it completely. So that's just one of the tricks that you can do to make the illusion of something without putting in a lot of effort or detail into it. So it's one of the things that I've learned throughout the years of my painting. Um, and I've learned actually being sloppy is better than being precise, if you know what I mean. I find that if I try really hard to get every single color into something, like even just one leaf that has a shadow on it, oh my gosh, like you're going to be there for hours and days and weeks and months. And who knows, you might even get frustrated and give up on it. So when I discovered this, just by using the paint itself and its characteristics, and by adding just a slight bit of a little bit of another color, it does exactly what you're trying to get it to do. So I urge you to try it. Just it's almost like if you've ever seen the one stroke painting where you load one color on one side of your brush and you load another color on the other side, and then you paint it with both those colors, and you end up getting all of these wonderful stripes and blends, and it's just it's so beautiful. And all they do is load up their brush on one side with one color, load up the brush on the other side with another color, and then paint with it. And I've seen so many beautiful flowers and leaves and things like that done in like minutes, and it's just beautiful. So I've not done the the one stroke painting with the two different paint colors on it. It's just not something that I've really grasped, but I understand the concept, and I prefer doing it like this. I like playing around with this kind of stuff, and I urge you to do the same. You don't learn unless you play, and that's exactly what I've been doing. I took art in high school. That was about it, and that was many, many, many moons ago. But I just love to paint, and I love to bring characters to life and sceneries and things like that. And most of my Mad River rocks are done with scenery pictures that I've painted, and do take hours to do. So that's why I don't film a lot of them. But I do have some in my playlist there, or all of the tutorials that I do have. And they are listed as Mad River Rocks. That's the river that I get them from. So I don't have any other rocks that I get from anywhere else. That's where I get these guys. I love the shape of them. I love that they're flat for the most part. The river is a very shallow river, and especially in the spring or heavy rainfalls, the flow of the water is very fast, and so it smooths out these rocks, and allows for a really nice painting surface. And they stand up nicely in like picture frame stands, things like that, or you can put them flat out in your garden. There's so many things that you can do with these guys, and I just love painting them. They're so much fun. However, to get a perfect circle, when sometimes I'm doing mandalas or any of the other tutorials, like the moon series that I've been doing this year, those I prefer the perfectly circular rocks that I make myself with the UltraCal 30 and the molds from the Happy Dotting Company. So definitely whatever your choice is, that's totally up to you. If you don't have somewhere nearby or somewhere you visit that you can gather up your own rocks, then definitely the mold rocks are the way to go. But yeah, I just love this. I just think it's so cute, and I paint every single day. Every day I paint. If I'm not painting, there's something wrong. So that's why I enjoy it so much, and it's my zen. Let's call it that. It's if I'm having a bad day, or maybe I got some bad news that wasn't expected, then definitely I'm in my paint room and I've got the music going and I'm painting. So some days are better than others, and I really like to just paint. It's my go-to. So I've been yapping a lot here and not really talking about what I've been doing. So I've done the frog, and I'm just waiting for the eyes to dry before I do any more on it. Right now I'm just outlining it again, and I will go back and I will outline again with black. But I've outlined his lily pad, and I'm just trying to get some shading going here and some light spots. And this is like a frog that, if you ever look at a picture of a real frog, they have like these little dots on them. And I'm sorry, I'm not very good with the terminology of frogs and all their different parts and stuff. But I do know that they have these little dots on them. And I'm going to assume, I did not look this up, but I'm going to assume that it has something to do with when they're swimming in the water, then they look like maybe the water, how the sun shines through the water and kind of makes things look like different colors. And maybe it's like a camouflage. So when they're swimming in the water, they don't have like a bird come down and scoop them up. I don't know. That's just my logic. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments below. And I would be really interested. Maybe I'll look it up myself and see, and maybe I'll report it on my next video to let you guys know. I don't know. We'll see. That's just my theory. I'm sticking to it. So now I'm taking some of that that blue color, the ocean blue by DecoArt, and in its full color. So I'm no blending, no adding white or black to it, just its full color. I'm just outlining to give the illusion of a shadow on top of the water. And I did a line at the back as well to separate the water and the land. So now I'm just doing some ripples, because when the water hits something, it causes a ripple. And the lily pads sit on top of the water, and so ripples are created. So we have to make sure that the ripples are on there. So I'm just using some white paint to put in those ripples. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of highlights here and there on the water. And my gosh, this guy is so cute. Like, look at him just stare at you. Like, he's just with a big smile. Anyhow, so now I'm putting on those dots that I was just talking about. And I'm using 3 different colors, and I'm not caring where they are as long as they're on the frog. I'm using the Kelly green, the holly green, light green. Oh, I forgot to mention his belly is actually, it's another color green. It's called Bright Mint. It's by Craftsmart. So I liked having a different color belly. Some frogs have like a different colored belly altogether, and it's not really part of the green. But I wanted to keep this a lot of green. This is like almost like a monochromatic where there's a lot of green, although I threw that blue in there. So and now I'm just sort of blending out those colors just to soften them up so they're not just so distinctive. And it also gives some shadow and some cuteness to the frog. Oh, yes, and I've got to put on some blush because, you know, he's very happy. And so I just use a little bit of pink on there. And he's just so cute. So now, because I did the sponging, the blending with my blending brush, I've got to go back in and tidy up those black marks. And these, when I did the eyes on this guy, oh my gosh, I was so thrilled with it. So I'm using like, it's, I can't remember, jack-o'-lantern orange. And I just sponge it in there, and then I add a little bit of white on the bottom. And you'll see me flip the brush every once in a while. I'm using the edge of my blending brush. Ugh, the edge of my blending brush. So the orange, pure orange is up on the top, and then white is on the bottom, just to blend it in together. And oh, they're so cute. However, I do this to them. I basically paint over the entire thing. But I really like the effect of it. So it was really cool that I did this. Let me know in the comments below if you liked this as well, or if I should have left them the full color and just added a little pupil. Anyways, I really, really enjoyed how the eyes came out. I was very impressed. So if you're new here, I just want to say thank you for joining me and welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button before you leave, and hit the bell for a notification for every time I post something new. And give me a thumbs up if you really like this video. And this is the reveal. So what I do is I just take off that masking tape, and then I use my black paint and go around the edge. And it just cleans it up so nicely. So stick around. The photos of the finished product are coming up, and life is what you make it. So get creative.